All right, the first thing we're going to discuss today is diaphragmatic breathing. That is breathing with your diaphragm versus, which allows us to use the base of our lungs rather than the top kind of triangle portions, the apex portions of our lungs. This comes a lot from our friends at FMS, and everybody is really catching on to this and how important breathing is for not only athletic function, but also things like stress control and anxiety and pain even, because that breathing is not only important, a vital function of life, it's also a direct link to controlling both parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous response. That's that fight or flight response, right? So a lot of times we have the tendency, and we'll see athletes, or a lot of times as they're tired, or they're runners, and they're breathing all up here in the tops of their lungs. They're breathing in their neck. They have a lot of stiffness and stuff like that associated with their neck, and they're not expanding into the lower part of their diaphragm and getting the best part of gas exchange. Okay, so the way that we're going to practice and confirm if you're doing a nice job on your breathing is we're going to go into the 90-90 position. That's 90 degrees of hip flexion, 90 degrees of knee flexion. We're going to prop up onto a mat or a bench of some kind. Once we get into this position, we're going to have one hand on basically on our sternum, on our xiphoid process, the other hand on our belly. And when we're here, we want to really make sure that we are expanding with our belly hand, right? As we go in through our nose and come back out, we should feel this hand moving rather than this hand. If you're feeling this hand moving, then you're really missing the point. And you're not using the best part of your gas exchange. So as you're going through here, take 15 or 20 of these breaths. It should take about a minute or two. You're gonna take a nice slow breath in, 4 or 5 seconds at a time, and then you're gonna hold for that same duration, 4 or 5 seconds. So breathe in, hold, and then breathe out at that same rate. Right? Nice slow waves up and down through there. Okay, there's the folks at the FMS say a lot of this dysfunctional stuff that we see in terms of athletes and stuff like that. There's entire businesses, Postural Correction Institute and things like that. They're based on like, hey, we can correct a lot of your dysfunction just by fixing your breathing pattern. So before we look into any of our other mobility issues, check your breathing first. Okay, so 2 minutes or so on this drill right here.